Welcome back, everyone, to the Queen of TV channel. Before we get started, let's get three things out of the way. First thing, please watch the video all the way to the end and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Second, there will be cursing and profanity in this. If that's not your cup of tea, this channel is not for you. Last but not least, I will be giving my honest opinion about the episode, and I also will be giving my honest opinion about the show as a whole. Now into our intro. Hello, everybody. I am your host, the Queen herself, and you are the prince and the princesses. Whether you are either a subscriber or you're just a viewer, either way, welcome. Today we'll be talking about H2O, Season 1, Episode 11, Sink or Swim. The episode starts off at the Juice Net Cafe, where Cleo, Emma, and Rikki are reading magazines when Byron shows up, and he's wanting to talk to Emma alone, but Cleo and Rikki say that they won't be listening. They are listening. Byron asks Emma to help him win the swimming competition against Zane because he's tired of coming into second place. Emma, of course, has to refuse because she can't get wet and risk her becoming a mermaid. She does feel bad about it and leaves, where we see Lewis actually show up asking to make hair samples. This obviously is getting on Rikki's nerves because Rikki is sick and tired of Lewis treating them like guinea pigs, where he needs to constantly keep testing on them to get results. I'll talk more about that in my review. Cleo doesn't think that that's going to work because obviously, even though Rikki's upset, Cleo has known him since she was 5 years old. He's never gotten upset and mad about anything. Rikki has a plan though. Emma is at her house. She's looking through her old photos when she was a swimming champion. Byron comes over and still tries to convince her to help him. She still says no. But she does quickly change her mind when Zane shows up to return a kitchen appliance that his dad says that Candy cannot use. He notices that Byron is there, and Zane obviously throws insults at him, which upsets Emma. And Emma decides to break the rules and help Byron. But she makes it clear that they cannot tell Rikki or Cleo. Their day of training goes off with some kind of a hitch because Byron is being goofy about it, and he splashes water on Emma when trying to goof off and jump in the water while making a face. Emma luckily brought a towel with her so she can dry off. The next time we see Cleo and Rikki with Lewis, he is there to pick up the hair sample, which Rikki had already done for him. Rikki tells Lewis to go ahead and leave. Cleo is waving goodbye to him. Rikki obviously gives a hint to Cleo that she might have done something sinister because she's going to prove that Lewis is very capable of getting upset and mistreated as a test subject, or at least in her case, a guinea pig like she feels. But, she isn't giving any more details other than that. And Cleo is none the wiser. Yet. So, we see this montage of training where Emma has Byron run more, changes his eating diet, actually takes the work seriously. And it's not long before Rikki and Cleo do find out. And obviously, yeah, they feel kind of bit blindsided and upset about it, kind of. Because, we are not allowed to, involve people with our mermaid business and risk ourselves into getting wet and being surrounded by water. I mean, hell, Emma got on Cleo's case about this, literally in the 4th episode of this season. And it's like you basically are deciding to break these rules because you want to help out Byron, who happens to be your crush of all things, which the girls become very aware of in the 7th episode of this season. It's so unfair. And Emma's trying to say that it's not like that, and she wants some support from Cleo, and Cleo is not getting involved. And Emma gets mad and upset and she leaves. Lewis does show back up, obviously to get more samples. And Rikki decides to try to piss him off by dropping a cube of ice down his back, which does not work because he does a counter move on her and tell her that he forgot to get a toenail sample. So that didn't work. Then we see the next scene with Byron and Emma, where Byron is still not taking the job seriously. Emma is upset about the conversation she had with the girls, so she takes it out on Byron. Byron obviously get into a small argument where he accuses her of being very controlling. Emma tries to ask Cleo and Rikki if this is true, and so much words. They basically tell her that, yeah, you can be controlling, and she can't handle that well and walks off. As they continue walking, Lewis shows up and confronts Rikki because he found out that the hair sample he gave her is from a German Shepherd, an old one at that. And Cleo is upset and feels that Rikki was mean for doing that, but Rikki tells her don't opt out of this now because she can't tell Lewis what Ricky's trying to do, and Rikki doesn't want Cleo to get soft on her about the whole situation. But Cleo still doesn't like it, and before she can say anything, Emma shows up and apologizes and says that, yeah, she may seem tough, but she's easily hurt. Funny, because we actually know another mermaid that's like that. Rikki, who also acts tough, but can be hurt as well. So maybe that's why the two of them clash so much. They're like the same person, just two different backgrounds. And Emma says for now on, she's going to start being nice. But she wonders how she's going to do that. Rikki tells her, well, you asking the wrong person because I don't know how to do that either. The next time that Emma's training Byron, they end up, having a talk and Emma being a lot nicer to him and they're flirting. They kiss and now they're dating. Yay, I guess. So at the Juice Net Cafe, Emma is telling Cleo about it, and Ricky's up to her shenanigans still. She wipes out Lewis's hard drive, which it's fine because he has a flash drive. So she decides to dip the flash drive in her drink and pretend like, oh, she didn't know what she was doing. And Zane said, well, not Zane, Lewis, I'm sorry. Lewis says that it's okay. He has a backup file in Amsterdam. And he can just pull that back up from the mirror in that software and he can get it back within minutes. Lewis had enough. She's like, no, Ricky's taking all this way too far. She quits. She's out of this. Ricky's on her own. So when Emma and Byron in the next scene are having a sweet moment and they're about to kiss, Zane and Nate show up, which is why I probably confused Zane with Lewis because he's in this episode. Um, and Byron wanting to prove himself after Zane hurls more insults at him. Ends up having a swim competition with him and loses. Emma's mad, so she leaves because she tried to protest against this and he didn't listen to her. So Emma's at home scrolling through TV shows and movies on her TV. Her mom answers the door and it's Byron. Byron comes in, won't apologize to Emma and smooth things over. Emma's not having it. They get into an argument. Cleo and Rikki walk in the middle of it. And basically Byron fires Emma and I'm guessing they broke up. So they lasted as a couple for like less than 24 hours. Yay, I guess. Um, Girls try to console Emma. Emma wants to be alone. She goes upstairs and cries in her room. Emma decides not to go to the competition, and that's that. The next day, Emma is at home cleaning her shoes. Meanwhile, Rikki, Cleo, and Lewis are at the Juice Net Cafe. And Rikki wants to cause more problems. But before she can, she gets a drink for Lewis, which is wheatgrass. He asks for it, I'm guessing. And he decides to blow up on her. And Ricky's like, oh, yes, I won. He got mad. Spoiler alert. We quickly find out that actually Lewis was playing with her. He wasn't actually upset. He is sad that he can't eat wheatgrass again, but we find out at some point Cleo did tell Lewis what Rikki was trying to do. We don't know if it was before Rikki started messing with him or it was after Cleo decided to stop being a bystander in her persistent reasons to continually mess with Lewis. Or in other words, when Cleo decided to stop letting Rikki mess with Lewis and stop helping be a witness to it. Well, Cleo said she was glad that Lewis did that because she was driving her crazy. Lewis said that he was actually driving Rikki crazy, so I'm guessing Lewis immediately caught on to it. So we cut to where the competition's about to start. Byron obviously looking for Emma. Emma's not there. He ends up acting like Emma though because he snaps on someone over a towel. Cleo realizes this, and so does Rikki and Lewis. So Cleo decides to call Emma, who is still cleaning her shoes. She's able to convince Emma to come. Emma sees that Byron wins the competition and wins first place, much to Zane's shock. Byron wants to hug Emma, but he's all soaking wet, so she can't really hug him. And they just decide to be friends. Emma decides that she wants to go on a swim alone without Cleo and Rikki, and we see her on the beach as she's about to. She's all dressed up in her swimming gear when she used to be on the swim team, and she cries her a single tear and she goes inside the water alone. And that's the end of our episode. Let's go into this review, okay? Let's get something out real quick. I give not two fucks about Byron and Emma getting together and breaking up. I really do not care at all. Um, I cannot wait until the 7th of August when y'all actually get to see my top 10 favorite and least favorite episodes of season 1. So you can probably guess where this episode is about to be placed in. But this whole thing between Emma and Byron is uninteresting to me. To be honest, everything in this episode is uninteresting to me. Understand a lot of what's going on. I just do not care for it, and I have my reasons. For one, this whole thing behind Emma still dealing with the struggle of not being on the swim team no more. The show's inability to actually show this when we knew this was a problem, instead of sweeping it under the rug and actually making this a storyline, they decide to just talk about this in the second episode and have her completely and utterly get over it. Only for them to try to bring it back in this episode, and then after this, they never bring it up again. Which obviously they left a hint that it was still a problem in the 4th episode when it was brought up to her during her slumber party. But I'm like, why not just still have this a revolving issue since the 1st episode? Why have it only matter in the literal first 2 episodes? Give us a small hint in the 4th episode, and then by the time we get to the 11th episode, this episode, you decide that you're going to have it be a small reason as to why she wants to help Byron, but gets her caught up in the middle of it at the same time, kinda. And then just have it be like, oh, it's so sad. She's finally having to accept she can't go back to that. Show us that. Show us that. For 11 episodes, show us that. Do not show us that for barely 2 episodes and just enough but not enough at the same time for the first 2 episodes, and then act like it's not such a big deal. And it's not even Emma. They did this for Cleo too, which is another issue I have with both season 1 and season 2. Because it's obvious that's the issue in season 2. But they don't make that clear. Because fans think she looks jealous. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why? Why do it this way? So, like, no, this is really stupid. I don't care for Byron and Emma's relationship whatsoever. Because there's no damn chemistry. They're not compatible at all. On top of this, Byron is so fucking frustrating. He is too busy goofing off, not taking anything seriously. We find out this man's diet is eating fucking junk food. He doesn't eat healthy at all. And then he's like, oh, now I got this urge to win. How do you have this urge to win when you constantly throughout this episode slacks off? And then all of a sudden, by the very end of it, when the competition starts, you stop slacking off and you win. Like, come on now. You barely did any training. At the end of the day, you barely did anything. Now let's talk about the Cleo, Rikki, and Lewis situation. I understand. Okay, look, I'm going to look at it from all 3 of their point of views. Let's look at it from Cleo's. Obviously, let me just make this small part clear. This might be one of them episodes where the diehard Lewis fans slash anti girl fans are like, look at just how they're mistreating Lewis. Cleo was defending Lewis in this episode. And she has to sit here and watch Lewis and Rikki make idiots of each other because it's obvious that Lewis knows what Rikki is trying to do without Cleo even telling him. Rikki is, in a way, being mean to Lewis, but in all honesty, I can understand her point. But Cleo is just a bystander in this. She is doing no wrong. She's not trying to egg nothing on. She's not trying to be mean, and she's at the same time being as supportive as she can be. So let's talk about Rikki's role in this problem. Rikki wants Lewis to get upset because she is sick and tired of being used as a test subject. I understand that 100% because let's just rope Lewis with her. Let's put them both together. Lewis testing on the girls is going to give him the same exact results. That the results are going to come back inconclusive, basically. Because testing on them is not going to get him any results into understanding why they're mermaids. But knowing what I know from future episodes as to why he's actually testing on them is my problem with Lewis. But I'm going to save that for those episodes, in that specific episode where he admits to why he's actually testing on them. It's not helping figure out why they're mermaids. Lewis is not testing the moon pool water. The only thing he's tested is like the rocks and the magnetic pool, but he's doing all this on days where it's not the full moon. Obviously, yes, he's watching the moon cycles now after episode 7, but it's like his testing will go nowhere. So constantly asking them for hair samples, toenail samples, saliva samples, and whatever else. I think he's also asking for their earwax. That's not going to get him no results. So I see where Rikki is coming from. Like, Lewis, we're not guinea pigs. This is not a science project. We are real people who have lives. So I can understand why she's becoming annoyed with the whole process. Lewis, I understand that he is trying to help and he's doing the best he can, but I feel like there's a difference between helping and just treating them like they need to be cured of a disease. And I'll get more into that on a separate video with Lewis, and it'll come out August the 7th. So until then, I'll just leave it at that. Obviously, yes, that is a vain reference to the problem that I'm having, but that vague reference is there for a reason. So, yes, I understand where Rikki's coming from. Yes, maybe for a lot of you, it'd be wrong for her to treat him like this because he's trying to help. But if you're not in her situation or you're not willing to look at the situation through her eyes only, you won't fully understand why she truly has a problem with this. And yes, it's wrong of her to ruin his research when he's worked so hard on it. But I feel like the research itself is the same research as the last and the next. So it's not really important research, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, this episode is over with. I really don't have anything else I can say about this episode. If I could, I would say that this episode was obviously a Emma episode, and it was supposed to talk about how she's dealing with the turmoil of not being a normal girl anymore. But that's not made as clear as it should have been. So that's all I got for you guys today. So have a blessed day, guys, and have a wonderful day. If no one has told you this today, I'm telling you, I love you. And I will see you guys in the next one. But as you know, this ain't the last time we're going to see each other. We'll be back again. So until then, bye, guys.